Hey, good afternoon and assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to my show, Talk to the Point with Saba in HS Entertainment TV UK. उम्मीद है आप सब खैरियत से होंगे, हेल्दी होंगे क्योंकि आज का हमारा जो टॉपिक है वो कुछ हेल्थ रिलेटेड है। वो काफ़ी संजीदा टॉपिक है क्योंकि हम जो है आज कैंसर अवेयरनेस के ऊपर डिस्कशन करने वाले हैं। और हमारे साथ आज हमारी जो गेस्ट हैं वो डॉक्टर उनका नाम है डॉक्टर समर फरहान। वो मैनचेस्टर से हैं। मैं आज आपको उनके बारे में एक इंट्रोडक्शन देती हूँ, उसके बाद हम वेलकम करते हैं डॉक्टर समर फरहान को हमारे प्रोग्राम में, जो कि आज कैंसर अवेयरनेस के बारे में डिस्कस करेंगी। डॉक्टर समर फरहान जो हैं वो मैनचेस्टर में रहती हैं फिलहाल, बट शी इज़ ओरिजिनली फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान, लाहौर, and she's born and brought up in Lahore. Her qualification is MBBS and fellowship in medicine in Pakistan. Her family background includes family of two doctors, three sisters, and two nieces are doctors. And her profession is obviously a doctor. She's a medical oncologist, and because she's an oncologist, that's the reason why she is going to be discussing about cancer awareness and also early stage of cancer awareness, how to detect them in common public. Well, her work experience उन्हें जो है 15 years का medical oncology and research में experience है, and her hobbies include painting, photography, interior designing and cooking apart from her profession. Obviously सबकी एक hobby एक personal life होती है, so she also has one. अ, और हम उनसे आगे और भी डिस्कशन करेंगे उनके फ्यूचर एस्पिरेशंस के बारे में, जो ऑब्वियसली कैंसर रिसर्च ही है। एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू हर इट्स योर वेरी ओन जर्नी, लिव इट एंड हाउ you want to. So, guys, please welcome Dr. Samar Farhan from Manchester to the program. Hello, Dr. Samar. How are you today?
Hello, Sabah. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your great show.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the program. How are you feeling today? और आज आप हमारे लिए क्या लेकर आई हैं हमारे व्यूअर्स के लिए?
Alhamdulillah, Sabah. Everything is fine. So weather is quite chilling. But so we are chilling with the weather.
Of course, we have to.
Yeah.
तो समर, मैंने आपके बारे में इंट्रोडक्शन दिया है हमारे व्यूअर्स को, मगर इट वुड बी नाइस इफ हम आपके वर्ड से भी कुछ सुने, आपके लफ्जों में कुछ बताएं अपना इंट्रोडक्शन और हाउ यू केम इनटू दिस फील्ड.
Okay, Sabah. Before jumping into my introduction, I would just mention, I just want to give a little credit to you and your team for bringing up such an amazing show for people like us who are really, into it. And
थैंक यू
because of you and your team, we get to know many people, from the different fields and around the world, locally and internationally. So it was a good meet and greet and great inspiration from different corners of the world. So hats off
थैंक यू
to
सो
you and
मच.
your team.
थैंक यू सो मच. दैट्स हाईली अप्रिशिएटेड, समर. समर
So,
जी, और
जी,
हमें चलिए अब हम लोग जो है कुछ आपके बैकग्राउंड के बारे में जानते हैं, उसके बाद लेट्स जंप इनटू आवर टॉपिक व्हिच इज कैंसर अवेयरनेस.
the background is simple, Sahib. Like I was born and brought up in Pakistan, in the my beautiful city, Lahore, which is known as the heart of Pakistan as well.
पंजाबी हैं आप.
So, so Lahore में सारा born brought up हुआ. उसके बाद I went into the medical school, finished my graduation in 2003. Then the usual pathway of 1 year of internship. And the interesting thing is how I get into the oncology, which is not very common, and that at that era of time when I was graduated. So I lived near, my parents' house was near the first institution of oncology, which was, built by our ex Prime Minister, Mr. Imran Khan. So in Lahore, so we live very close to that, and I brought up by, we grow up looking at the construction area sites, and my father wishes that one of his kids should go for this because it's charity based hospital. And so that's how I get attracted to, and I joined it after my internship, and I spent there almost 4.5 years there. And
Good.
meanwhile, I was, as I get to know oncology more and more, So I was become the in charge of GPAP program, which is Gleevec International Patient Assistant Program, which was linked to the American Max Foundation, which provide there's a leukemia patient, chronic myeloid leukemia, which on the treatment wise they require the lifelong oral medication for their for their cancer, and which is very, very, very expensive. So this Max Foundation basically sponsor this medication free of cost to the various hospitals around the world. So you can say that in UK, the one pack of 30 tablets, the minimum dose of one pack of 30 tablets cost only 2,300, roughly. So the people has to take it throughout their life. So it was a very expensive and financially not possible for any people. So poor can't even think about it. So it was a the good program, which gave me more exposure around the world as well, and bring to me the research things which I was more keen to get into it.
Of course.
And
So
then
Samarji, yeah.
no.
Yes, yes. Okay. So, Samar ji, जैसे कि आपने बताया कि you have 15 years of medical oncology experience and research.
Yeah,
So, would you like to share some glimpse of those 15 years of experience?
yeah.
Obviously, it's a long 15 years which you cannot mention, but still some glimpses of them, how it was working as an oncologist.
Actually, I get married in 2008. So my husband is also a doctor. He's a hematologist, bringing around the same category, but it's more related towards the blood cancers. So he was working in Saudi Arabia at that time, Riyadh. So we moved to the Saudi Arabia, and then I worked there almost 10 years in Riyadh and in Qatar as well. So that gave me a more exposure to the the cancer world, or there. So the total of 15 years of my practice,
Wow.
where we did most of the research. My publication and my research work was mostly in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And then later on, the journey continues, as we didn't, as a human, we didn't stop somewhere. So we wanted to explore further. So we moved here in UK back in 2017. So, and then it was an important year as well for me, that because it was my first career break, which I took when I moved here,
Good.
because I wanted to have some overcome that working woman and working moms guilty, which we hide somewhere in the corner of our hearts. So I wanted to give some time to my kids.
No,
And
obviously, family is very important. Family comes first, health comes first, obviously, and then
definitely,
family.
yeah,
And profession, तो वो alhamdulillah वो चलता रहेगा. You can pick up as your family comes into place, your children grow up. That's not going anywhere. You are a doctor, you will always be one.
yeah. मुझे वैसे भी लगता है कि like being a mother is a different entity. Like once you are a mother, then your career, the things are way bottom down in the list. Your kids are
Yes,
on the top. So
that's the priority.
all your life is roaming around your kids. So
Yeah,
the career and everything goes afterwards. So if it is written somewhere, it ultimately comes to you, and you will find a ways to do that.
yeah.
So I'm
It
further,
will,
I'm heading
obviously. It
towards
will.
the cancer research program. Let's see how the life goes, and how it went.
No, inshallah it will, because it is a very important topic. मैं आप लोगों को बता दूं कि यहाँ मैनचेस्टर यूनिवर्सिटी में इवन जो हॉस्पिटल है मैनचेस्टर हॉस्पिटल इज अ यूनिवर्सिटी हॉस्पिटल एंड वहाँ पे भी मैनचेस्टर यूनिवर्सिटी में रिसर्च वर्क चल रहा है ऑल ओवर द यूके. दिस इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट टॉप लिस्ट में प्रायोरिटी में ये टॉपिक चल रहा है अबाउट अर्ली डिटेक्शन ऑफ कैंसर एंड टू स्प्रेड द कैंसर अवेयरनेस amongst the general public. एंड ऑब्वियसली क्योंकि इतना ज्यादा कैंसर फैल रहा है that it's really very difficult to cut it down until unless we can't detect it at the initial stage which is very difficult obviously. So इसलिए आज हमारा ये important discussion यहाँ पर है डॉक्टर समर के साथ, जिनके थ्रू हम जान सकते हैं कि किस तरह से अर्ली डिटेक्शन किया जा सकता है, या हम अपने आप को, अपने लाइफस्टाइल को चेंज करके या कुछ करके कैंसर से बचें, और इस चीज को कट डाउन करें जो डिजीज फैल रहा है. आई मीन इट्स बैड, इट्स स्प्रेडिंग लाइक अ फ्लू. आई मीन इतने पैमाने पे कभी कैंसर नहीं था, but why it's happening, we are going to find out from Dr. Samar Farhan. So let's begin with asking her about how does cancer start. Can you tell us, Dr. Samar?
Yeah, for first, like in a layman, in a simple way, that what is the cancer? Basically, normally, the human body has a different type of cells. So these cells, in a normal pattern, they just grow and divide, and they, with the time, there's the lifespan of each cell. So they die, and they get replaced by the new cells, and that's how the body works. So the every dead cell is replaced by the new cells. But what happened when the cancer, when the cells mutate and they grow uncontrollably? So there was no controls. They keep on growing and piling up into a mass or a tumor. So that's how the cancer cells are keep collecting in your body,
Multiplying, yeah.
genetically,
Yeah.
So it was, there are two types of cancers. These tumor and growths could be benign, non-malignant. They are not, they don't have a cancer cells, or maybe they have some atypical cells which later on transformed into the cancer cells. But benign, it means there is no at all evidence of cancer cells, so they are not harmful. But malignant means they have cancer cells. So that's how you find out the cancer inside your body.
So how do people know that they have cancer?
There are certain symptoms, which associated with different types of cancers. The people have noticed the unexplained and unintentional weight loss over us. Like they said, like 3 to 5 kg over a couple of months, like 2 to 3 months, as a significant when you don't want to intend to do weight loss. So, and fever, fatigue, the unusual bleeding, there will be lumps and bumps on any part of your body, or difficulty in swallowing sometimes, shortness of breath with nagging coughing, or headache with blurring of vision. These are generally, these are the symptoms which are alarming, and you should, get medical advice immediately if one of these symptoms you are suffering with.
So guys, be aware. Look out for any of the symptoms. कोई भी तकलीफ है, कुछ भी इस तरह के छोटी मोटी symptoms भी है, immediately ring your GP. Keep ringing them. Keep contacting. Get an appointment. Don't ignore your health. It's very important to detect cancer in an early stage and save lives.
Yeah, so but this is very important message. Like sometimes because the people has to aware of this thing. Cancer itself is a very nasty disease, but early detection can make a hell of difference in the treatment. So we have plenty of cases, in which the patient presented very late in advanced stages, and then there is nothing to do much for them, unfortunately. So early detection is only possible when people are aware of it, that these symptoms, sometimes you take it for granted that okay, I'm tired because of the house chores, or this fever is it's a seasonal, or weight loss. Many people get happier, especially the women. They are very happier if they are losing unintentionally, but it is alarming. So we have to take the symptoms very seriously. Sometimes it can be anything.
So what type of tests are required for cancer, and when?
Basically, we are there are certain guidelines for the screening purpose, because if you detect them early, you will treat them early in initial stages, and definitely it will ultimately affect the prognosis of the cancer. So there are certain guidelines for the screening. For example, as you know, there are a lot of cancer types, but let's talk about something very common. the breast cancer, which are, we are seeing like a very young, unmarried even girls are, having it. So the screening guidelines for breast cancer is like anyone who are over 25 and above, they should, go for the formal risk assessment. So that risk assessment will decide either they are average risk, in the average risk group, or are they are in the, high risk group. So for example, if they are someone who are in the average risk group, so it is recommended the annual mammogram should be done for all the women who are 40 and above, who come in the average risk group. But for the women who are in the high risk groups, and when we called it high risk, we mean that either they have the family history of the breast cancer, and either they are previously treated with the chest radiotherapy or radiation, or there is some genetic mutation, gene detection, which is specifically for the breast cancer, BRCA1 and BRCA2. So these are the three things. If it is, there, and so then these women are high risk, and they should be screened with the mammogram and with the MRI breast at their earlier age, around 30. So because high risk, we will scan them earlier. And at younger age, maybe they will not benefit from the mammogram. So MRI breast will be the right approach for the screening.
So what else do you think? How do doctors treat cancer when it is
Cancer treatment
detected?
is again, it. First of all, it depends upon what type of cancer it is, and what stage it is. It is the early stage. It is a treatable, or you just give a comfort to for the terminal stages where you can't offer much. So, but in generally speaking, there are the role of surgery when they remove the part of the tumor. If it is resectable, it's easy to remove and it's not spread much or attached to the other organs. So if it is possible surgically, they resect it. And then there are certain drugs which we call chemotherapy drugs, which have a lot of side effects, real side effects, including the hair loss and serious infection, leading them to the ICUs even, and life-threatening and side effects as well. So, but again, because they targeted the cancer cells, these chemotherapeutic agents, they target the cancer cell, and meanwhile they kill the normal tissues as well. So, which leads to the serious side effects as well. And then there is a radiation therapy in which they gave rays to the treated, not treated, like the affected area when it is needed, after maybe sometimes before surgery or maybe after the surgery, or sometimes to relieve the symptoms as well. So it's a part of treatment, and some hormonal treatments and some, like targeted therapies. The targeted therapies are really effective, as well as it's good because it's only target the cancer cells. So it has some side effects because every drug, even the paracetamol, has the side effects, but the side effect is minimal as compared to the chemotherapy. So these are the generally the treatment things which we can apply on all the cancer patients.
Good to know that. So how to reduce the risk of cancer?
There are certain risk factor, and actually this is a very good question. Like people should aware of the risk factor which contribute some lifestyle changes. We don't fix them in generally being lazy. And first of all, the thing which is more concern is smoking and alcohol. So one should stop smoking and alcohol consumption, because it plays major role in the as a risk factor of cancer. The other thing is the diet. The diet should be the healthy, which is the most of the time we should not focus on that part of. So fruits and vegetables should be a part of meal, everyday meal, and plus you have to limit the processed meats. Because these are the major risk factor as far as your diet is concerned. Uh, Other thing is that you have to always maintain your healthy weight. So, the obesity has a great link towards the cancer. So many cancers are in which the obesity is the main cause for that. In women, breast cancer, and in men, mainly obesity related cancer, the most common is the colon, so the GI cancers. So basically, you have to control and you have to be moderate with your weight uh, according to your height. So it
Mm,
has to be, maintained. The other things are, the physically active. So
mm,
this is the
that's very
the part
important too.
which, in our countries, we are not in that
Yeah.
physically
We
active
miss out
people.
on that, but it's very
Yeah,
important.
and especially
Should
when
be
it
a
comes
part
to.
of your day-to-day routine.
Exactly. And when it comes to the woman, we are being lazy to
Mm,
be in that,
yes,
because
we
we
are.
are tired of many multitasking at home. And
Yeah,
many of us, includes that the part of the things and the part of house chores we are doing is equal or way more than to be a physical active. But no, this is a wrong practice. You have to be spare at least minimum of 30 minutes of physical activity, and just go out and just have a walk. 30 minutes will not harm anyone. So that should be a daily routine, minimum of 30 minutes. Spare yourself.
definitely. And I would add to it that at least 30 minutes a day तो आप दे ही सकते हैं अपनी body को, अपने आप को. So you should do that. I know women have lots of responsibilities, children, housework, and everything, especially living in the UK, where everything has to be done independently, and a lot of things are on the shoulders of a woman.
Yeah,
बट
true.
इवन देन द प्रायोरिटी जब हम एक फ्लाइट में भी होते हैं तो उन्हें हमें क्या कहा जाता है कि व्हेन देयर इज टर्बुलेंस फर्स्ट पुट ऑन द ऑक्सीजन मास्क ऑन योरसेल्फ एंड देन हेल्प द अदर्स सो सिमिलरली हमें पहले अपना ख्याल रखना है अपनी बॉडी का अपनी हेल्थ का ओनली देन वी विल बी एबल टू मैनेज चिल्ड्रन एंड हाउस एंड फैमिली इन अ वेरी स्मूथ वे सो डॉक्टर समर ने बहुत
No, I
सही कहा.
totally agree with you, Sabah, because that's the thing. You have to love yourself to take care of other people around you. So yourself and you are the most important person to be on the top of your list.
Of
The
course.
other thing, the very important thing which we miss usually in our daily routine, apart from this, 30 minutes of physical activity, is to protect our skin, because most of the skin cancer is
Mhm.
because of the sun exposure. These UV rays,
Yeah.
can lead to the many different types of skin cancer as well. So
Mm.
the broad spectrum sunscreen should be at the accessible range, where you can put it every 2 to 3 hours, because the minimum of at least SPF of 30, it's recommended. You can layer up your skin with that broad spectrum sunscreen. And even after the swimming, and the person who has profuse sweating, they should repeatedly use it 2 to 3 hourly. So, and many people said, like, it's a cloudy or it's a rainy, so you don't have to wear it. So you don't have to wait for the sun rays to come and affect your skin. You have to protect it. It's just a daily
From
routine you
skin
have to carry
cancer.
on.
Yes,
Uh,
and especially in the UK, skin cancer is very, very common.
yeah,
And because we don't take too much care, we think that is just sun rays, but no, the UV rays are very strong in the UK. So
yeah.
when you expose yourself to the skin, I mean, it's really very harmful, and it's a high risk of skin cancer, as Dr. Summer said. So we must definitely put on sun cream when we are out and keep ourselves cool and look after as these are little things, but it helps a lot to prevent a lot of cancer like skin cancer we've been talking about.
Yeah, and
Oh,
knowing about this fact was saying why the skin cancers is more in the UK and the Europe, abroad, because the
yeah,
people use the tanning, uh, uh, this tanning beds and the sun lamps, which harm equally as the sun rays. So people think, like, like these are the things which don't consider as a risk factor, but these are. So
yes, yes,
you should avoid the tanning beds and the sun lamps as well, as a part of taking care of your skin.
of course.
So
So
the thing
chali,
is,
let's
like,
go. Yeah,
just to add one more thing, sorry,
of course.
because once you started, it's keep
No,
your
no,
in
no,
your
definitely these are
mind
very
that
important things and we should
these,
not miss out
because,
on
like,
any point.
Yeah, there are some vaccination which help to reduce the cancer risk as well, like hepatitis B vaccination, which is like I'm sure like everybody has it, and there is another HPV vaccine, which is the human papilloma virus.
Mm-hmm.
It's recommended anybody, the girls and the boys who are age of 12 and above, so they should have this because HPV is a virus is mainly uh, uh, like associated with the cancer, risk of cancer. So these are the vaccines everybody should be aware of, because like HPV is particularly for the kids. So I want everybody to be aware of that. That many moms, like call me and ask me, like
Mm-hmm.
school are offering, so should we go or should we not go? Is there any, So
Mm-hmm.
these are the important things. Your kids should have these vaccines because it's a part of saving them, from these risk factors.
Mm-hmm. Also, do you think that especially in our Asian communities living in the UK, there could be some factors which, uh, चाहे वो maybe it could be religious or
Mm.
family related or anything that women don't really come to know more about cancer, or maybe they are shy, they don't want to go for tests to the doctors, and yeah, would you like to say something about that?
Yeah, you're raising a very good and valid points about, because like our community is basically like it's inborn, it's a cultural things, like we
Yes,
are born to be shy, and like talking about certain things, the people, even once, I still remember one of my very young patients. She came in a very advanced case because she was shy to tell people that she has a lump in her breast. So
mm,
these are the things, like, and as you go in the remote areas, like the people are not well educated and not well aware, so they are really really shy to talk about it, even to their family and their mothers.
yes,
So these things has to be, that's why I said like this awareness programs, there are many awareness programs now, even back in our country as well. So, and thanks to the social media, and there are many programs running, and so people are way more aware than before. And that's why we keep on saying that the cancer awareness is the, like it's really important topic which should be
it
discussed
is.
repeatedly again and again.
No, this is a never-ending topic actually, because the more you spread the awareness, the more good, I mean, job you're doing. It's a sadka jariya. You have to help save lives, and especially our women. And I mean, आप कह लें जो हमारे एशियन लेडीज हैं जो घर पे रहती हैं, even in the UK, um, who are just, maybe housewives, or they don't go out, and there are lots, they're
Yeah,
not educated enough, they're shy, they're just quiet at home, they don't know who to speak to, they
yeah,
don't even go to the hospitals when they get call from the GP for smear tests or like that. There's loads of things, they're just scared, or even unmarried girls, they are like scared to
yeah,
go for things like that. So there's lots of things which are not, the awareness is not there.
yeah.
So
And this awareness
so
is directly related to, like if somebody is aware, and then they have, god forbid, and if they have one of these symptoms, if you are not aware, how you know that these are the symptoms where I have to call, or I have to seek some medical, uh,
yeah,
uh, like
the
I have
health,
to reach to the
yeah, you
doctor
need
or
to
the
help.
GP, or
Yeah.
I have to contact them or reach them. So you should be aware of, what could be the possibilities, and what are the things you can avoid, and what are the things which makes a difference in your lifestyle.
Yes,
So this awareness is really important.
yes, it is. And this is why we are here with Dr. Samar Farhan today talking about cancer awareness, so that कुछ help हम लोग कर सके, कुछ information दे सके जो शायद किसी की help कर दे. And because there are lots of symptoms, some symptoms are very like common, like general, and people think that they just ignore it, they think maybe it's ठीक है, ठीक हो जाएगा, but
Hmm.
because they're not really, cancer symptoms are not too strong. They are the general symptoms after all. So
Hmm.
you don't know, you just have to guess. So that this is the reason why I'm mentioning again and again, please keep ringing your GP and go for health checkups. And when you get letters for appointments for these kind of tests, make sure you do go and take the appointment, because it's your health. You can't put it at risk. Save lives.
Yeah, because there are certain things which you can do yourself. For example, for the breast cancer
Yeah.
prevention, you can do just make a routine of the self examination. So
Yeah.
once in a while, every woman should have the self examination just to get to know that is there any lump or anything, skin changes or anything which is not
Yeah.
normal. So you should seek a help. So and the cervical smear, like the pap smear,
Yeah.
every woman should have it. Uh,
Yes, it is important. So this is the welcome signal from Dr. Samar Farhan to all the ladies out there, the Asian ladies who are shy sitting at home. Don't be shy. This is time to save your life. Go to your GP, ring them, take an appointment, and get yourself checked regularly. It's very important. So it was so nice to have Dr. Samar Farhan in our show today, and she gave us such a lot of information, which I'm sure was very helpful, will be very helpful to everyone watching our show today. And we might be able to save some lives if possible. बाकी तो अल्लाह के हाथ में है. So anyway, I
we'll
would
just
still
do
say
our part.
keep
The
healthy.
rest
Yes,
is,
yes, of course.
like,
Yeah.
so the only, take home message is the only whenever there is a doubt, you must check it out.
Oh, wow. That's a nice one. Good statement. Highly appreciated. And I'm sure our viewers like that as well. In style, spoken by Dr. Samar Farhan, a very informative message. So, inshallah, all of us will look after ourselves, take care of your health, look after yourself, which is very, very important. And thank you, Dr. Samar Farhan, for giving your time to us today and coming to our TV show at HS Entertainment TV UK with Talk to the Point with Sabah.
Thank
Uh,
you so much, Sabah, for having me, and it was such a great pleasure to to speak to you as well.
Thank you, Samar, and thank you all the lovely viewers who watched our show today. And inshallah, I'll see you again next time. हम किसी नए guest के साथ होंगे with a different topic, which might be informative, which might be light, which might be fun, because it can be anything. But it's going to be talk to the point with Sabah in HS Entertainment TV UK from Manchester, of course. All right, thank you so much, Samar. It was nice talking to
Thank
you
you,
today.
Sabah. Thank you. Have a good day.
Take care. Allah Hafiz, everyone.